Good evening, good evening. Happy Wednesday. It's a new Wednesday, which means a new weekly Wednesday webinar. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Eddie Villanueva, your official MC of this panelist team of the MC, the weekly Wednesday webinars. I'm sorry. And we're so glad that you're here with us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And as you can see, we're going to go over like a topic that's very, very relevant and it's very hot. Not because it's summer, but because fraudsters are getting very, very strategic when it comes to catching their, victims, whether it's a message, whether it's an email. And as you can see on the screen, spoof calls and fake fraud alerts, how to protect your accounts. We're going to go over some tips to protect your accounts here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union. Your security, your privacy is top priority. So we want to show you some of the things that you can do as our member or potential member to protect your accounts. And it's interesting that we're going over this topic because today I had a meeting with my team. I think it was around 12:37 when we were on the call. And I don't know where I got a call. And I didn't recognize the number. I let it ring because I didn't recognize the number. And of course, I was in the meeting. But when I went to look at my phone log and my call log and I wanted to see who it was, guess who was calling me, panelist team? Guess who was calling me? Spam risk.
Damn
So I
like
don't know
me.
if the phone, I don't know if the phone is listening. I don't know if they know that we're doing this webinar, but I'm so glad that we're doing it because that way I can learn something new with you all this evening. So thank you so much again. I see a lot of familiar names. So thank you so much. If you're coming back and supporting us, we appreciate you. And if this is your first time you're joining a webinar with the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, relax, get some dinner, water, depending on, the time zone that you're at. But we want to make sure that we learn together and we answer all of your questions. And talking about questions, if you have any concerns, any comments, if you just want to say hi, we have the chat feature, or you can use the Q&A. And at the end of the presentation, Andrea, what do we do with those questions? Do I just read them and put them in my pocket? Do I recycle them? Do I just don't ignore them at all? What do we do with those questions?
We'll answer each and every one of your questions here tonight. If you don't have an answer for them tonight, you'll get an email with the answer to your question.
All right, you heard it. Just get a little closer to the mic, please. But you heard it from the best. We're gonna answer all of those questions, and if we don't have the answer for you, we're gonna email you and follow up with you because we want to make sure that we give you the best answer for you. So once again, thank you so much. Somebody's saying that they lost audio. If you don't hear us, maybe come out of the call and come back in. Something that helps. Or what do IT says? Turn it on and off. Something that helps as well. So. Thank you so much again for being here with us and supporting us. Everything that we create, these webinars, these presentations, the graphics, everything is organic. And we want to do it because we want to inform you that once again, here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union, we take, our members very serious. We hear you, we see the topics that you want us to talk about, and we know that your security is very important. So if it's important to you, it's important to us as well. All right. Without further ado, I want to pass it on to the official introduction with Miss Kim Freely. Miss Kim Freely, welcome back. We have missed you. The weekly Wednesday webinars are not the same without you, but we are so glad that you're back. So I want to pass the mic to you.
Eddie, thank you so much. And thank you to this amazing panelist team. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Wednesday evening with us. We are honored that you are here. Without further ado, let me just introduce everybody. You already heard from Eddie. He is absolutely amazing. He is our engagements and events manager. We have Andrea Londono with us tonight. She's our marketing assistant. Carrie, you all know Carrie Lazar. She is the communications manager. She is the person who makes us look good. She does these PowerPoints, she puts them together, and it's just always authentic, organic. She's just absolutely amazing. So give a round of applause to Carrie Lazar. And everybody knows who I am. I'm Kim Fridley, the Membership Development Analyst, and we have a very special guest for you guys tonight. We actually have our VP of Retail Services. Troy Ferguson has a wealth of knowledge, lots and lots of banking and credit union experience, and he is going to present our webinar tonight. We are thrilled to have him. And again, questions, feel free to use the Q&A, feel free to use the chat. Again, we are just here to learn something new together. So Troy, I am gonna send him over to you, and thank you so much for being here.
Well, good evening, and thank you, Kim, and thank you, team. So excited to be presenting this evening on such an important topic, and it's top of mind today for millions, not only just in the United States, but throughout the world, and it's fraud. Fraud is a big issue, and hopefully tonight we can provide some information that will help you and protect you from any incidents that you may incur from fraudsters that are out there. As part of tonight's presentation, we are a team, and I am going to be assisted with these slides by Carrie Lazar. Carrie, as Kim has alluded to, and Eddie has done a great job of preparing us for these presentations. So, Carrie, when I am ready to go to the next slide, I will say it, and you can actually go ahead and get started right now. Fraud is getting harder to recognize because the communication itself looks completely legitimate. A call that you may receive from a fraudster maybe the phone may be spoofed, and it could potentially be coming from a financial institution. Or you could get a text, and the text may look like a real fraud alert, or an email or login page may be used with familiar branding and language. Trust me, these fraudsters are very, very good. But what does that mean? The old warning signs like a strange phone number, obvious spelling mistakes, or a suspicious looking message aren't always enough anymore. The challenge is knowing when something that looks credible may not be, and recognizing the moments when it's important to stop and verify before taking any action. And that's what we want to help you with tonight to help you feel more confident. Next slide, Carrie. Our agenda tonight will be how spoofing works, common impersonation tactics, fake fraud alerts, one-time passcodes, warning signs, and safe verification, and prevention and next steps. We'll start with how spoofing works and the different ways it can appear in calls, texts, and emails. Then we'll look at common impersonation tactics, including fake fraud accounts and one-time passcodes. Finally, we'll cover the warning signs to watch for and how to verify suspicious communication safely, and a few steps you can take to reduce your exposure and protect your accounts. Next slide, Carrie. The scale of the problem right now in 2025, last year, there were over 1 million plus imposter scams reported and over 3.5 billion reported losses. And this has been the #1 most reported scam category for the last 9 years. To put that all in perspective, the Federal Trade Commission received more than 1 million reports of imposter scams in 2025 and the 3 billion in losses. And this is not a new trend. Imposter scams were the #1 scam category reported, as I stated earlier. And that tells us that these attempts are not rare or isolated, but that they continue to reach a very large number of people, and the financial impact can be significant. Part of what makes them so effective is that they often look and sound legitimate. A call may appear to come from a familiar number, or a text may look like a real fraud alert, or an email may use branding that you recognize. The challenge is simply not knowing that scams exist. It's knowing how to respond when something looks credible, but may not be. Next slide, Carrie. Spoofing. What is spoofing? Spoofing is essentially a way of disguising where communication is really coming from. That could mean changing what appears on a caller ID, or making a text message look like it came from a trusted sender, or creating an email or website that closely resembles a legitimate one. The goal of the fraudster is to make the communication feel familiar enough that you trust it before you've really had a chance to verify it. That is why spoofing can be so effective. This message may look right, the number may look right, and even the branding may look right. but none of those things by themselves prove that the communication is legitimate. Next slide, Carrie. What are some of the common spoofing methods? You have caller ID spoofing, text spoofing, and email spoofing. Spoofing can show up in several different ways. An important thing to understand is that it is not just limited to phone calls. With caller ID spoofing, the name or number on your screen may be manipulated to look familiar. It could appear to come from a financial institution, government agency, or even a familiar or local number. A recognizable name on caller ID should not be treated as proof of who's actually calling you. With text spoofing, this message may look like a real fraud alert or an account notification. It may warn you about suspicious activity and ask you to click a link, reply, or call a number. The message may look routine, but the action it asks you to take could lead you into a channel controlled by someone else. With email spoofing, the message may closely copy an organization's branding, tone, and formatting. The sender name can look legitimate, even when the actual email address is not. And links may lead to a convincing copy of a real login page. What connects all three is that the communication is designed to lower your guard before you verify it. The safest habit is not to judge a message by only how it looks, by what it is asking you to do, and whether you can independently confirm where it came from. Next slide, Carrie. How scammers get your info. I'm sure we're all aware now in today's world, there's a lot of data breaches. There's a lot of, it can be done through social media. It can be done through phishing or fake websites and public or commercially available data. There's so many data breaches today, you truly have to be careful. These spoofing methods can be convincing on their own, but they become even more believable when the person contacting you already knows something about you. That information can come from several places, as I stated earlier. Data breaches, addresses, phone numbers, or passwords, or things of that nature. With social media, it can reveal information about your family, employer, location, interest, or other personal details that make a message or a call feel familiar. Thinking about social media for a second, we all love to post on various websites, social media websites. Sometimes we upload pictures of friends and family, or we talk about where we work or where we're traveling. And those are very easy ways for fraudsters to get a hold of our information. Phishing messages and fake websites are another source. If someone enters credentials or an account information into a fraudulent site, that information can be used later in another impersonation attempt. There's also a large amount of information on public records, which is commercially available through several data sources. The important point is that someone knowing your name, where you work, or where you bank, or other personal details does not prove that they're legitimate. The information may have come from somewhere else entirely. Next slide, Carrie. Phishing, smishing, and vishing. Try to say that 3 times really, really fast. Phishing really refers to email. Smishing, text messages that you may receive, bogus text messages that you receive. Or vishing is a phone call. Phishing generally refers to email. These messages may include a link to a fake login page or an attachment or a request for account information. Smishing is the text version. These messages often look like fraud alerts or security notifications and may ask you to click a link, reply, or call a number. And vishing happens by phone. The caller may claim to be from a financial institution or another trusted organization and pressure you to provide information, confirm activity, or read back even sometimes a one-time passcode. The important thing to remember is that these methods can work together. A text may lead to a phone call, or a call may direct you to a website. And while the delivery method may change, many of the scams themselves follow very recognizable patterns. Next, we'll look at some of the most common ones. Next slide, Carrie. Common spoofing scams. Bank or credit unions, fraud or suspicious activity alerts, government, Someone may state that there's the IRS or Social Security or the FBI or some other law enforcement agency. Delivery, it could be a fake UPS package or something from FedEx or UPS, United States Postal Service official notices. It could be a family emergency, urgent text or AI clone voices, tech support, or an employer. All of these are ways that spoofing can show up. For tonight's discussion, we're going to focus more closely on one of the most relevant examples for our members, bank and credit union impersonation, including fake fraud alerts. These can be especially convincing since they often begin with something that sounds protective, like a warning about suspicious activity on your account. Next slide, Carrie. Bank and credit union impersonation. When someone impersonates a bank or credit union, the message usually starts with the problem that feels urgent. You may be told that there's suspicious activity on your account and that your debit or credit card has been frozen, that a payment was declined or flagged, or that your account could be restricted or closed unless you act quickly. That urgency is important because it is meant to push you into responding before you have an opportunity to stop and verify what's happening. From there, the request may be a click to a link or provide a one-time passcode, share login or card information, or even transfer money to what is described as a safe and secure account. This story may sound protective, like someone is trying to help secure your account, but the action they are asking you to take is what creates the risk. This is why fake fraud alerts can be so convincing, and that is where we'll go next. Next slide, Carrie. How a fake fraud alert unfolds. It often begins with a text that appears to warn you about a suspicious purchase or account activity. The message creates concern and gives you an immediate reason to respond. That may be followed by a phone call from someone claiming to be from the fraud department. The caller may sound professional and may use familiar-looking number to make the situation feel more credible. Next comes a security request. You may receive a real one-time passcode and be asked to read it back. The important point is that the code may be legitimate because someone is actively trying to access or change something on your account. Once the code or sensitive information is shared, the scammer may be able to access account, make changes, or move money from your depository accounts. So the progression is important to recognize. The alert creates urgency, the call builds credibility, and the security request can provide the access the scammer needs. Next slide, Carrie. The code is real, the request is not. A one-time passcode or OTP is designed to protect your account by confirming that the person taking an action is really you. These codes may be generated when someone is trying to sign into your account, reset your password, add a device, or approve account activity. That is why this part of the scam is so effective. The code may be real. In fact, it may arrive because someone actively tried to access your account or change something. What members need to remember is that the code is for you to use through trusted channel. It is not something to read back to the caller. Text to someone or share because another person may say that they need it to secure your account. So the key takeaway is simple. The code may be real, but the request can still be fraudulent. Next slide, Carrie. A legitimate fraud alert versus a fraudulent alert. A legitimate alert may notify you of unusual activity, ask you to review a transaction, direct you to a trusted app or website, provide a known way to contact the institution. A fraudulent alert may pressure you to act immediately, ask for a one-time passcode or credentials, and direct you to an unfamiliar login page and ask you to move money. That's why it's so important to verify, slow down and verify what the ask is, and to create and make sure that you're not feeling any pressure to provide any information. So rather trying to decide based on appearance alone, focus on the action that you're being asked to take. If you're unsure, don't use the link or phone number in the message. Contact the financial institution that you are using already, yet you know that that number is legit, that you can trust. Next slide, Carrie. What are some of the warning signs that can help you recognize a possible bank impersonation attempt? One is contact you. One is contact you that you were not expecting, especially when it's immediately followed by pressure that you may be told that your account is at risk and that the transaction needs to be stopped, or that something will happen if you do not respond right away. Another common tactic is directing you to click on the link to verify your account or telling you to move money to a so-called safe or secure account. What matters most is that the behavior of the communication and what you're being asked to do. Next slide, Sarah, Carrie. How to verify safely. End the call or leave the message. If you don't use the link or message, or the link or the phone number, end the call or leave the message. Open a trusted app or website directly. Check the activity for yourself. Contact the organization using a known number. Never share a one-time passcode. This is so critical. The key is to separate yourself from the original communication and verify the information on your own terms. Next slide, Carrie. How to reduce your digital exposure. Limit personal details shared publicly, especially on social media platforms, or remove old and unused accounts, and consider opting out of people search sites. I know that's hard to do in today's society because there are so many social media sites or places you can go that we share information. It could be something as simple as LinkedIn or Indeed or things of that nature. But it's really worth sharing or reviewing old accounts or unused online accounts. And think about information or accounts that you may have shared years ago for shopping, applications, forums, or other services that you no longer use. Those accounts can still contain personal information, save contact details, old passwords, and just a way to have you to think that, since it's old and you haven't been there for a while, no one would have it. Trust me, everything is out there on the dark web, and it opens us all up for potential exposure. Next slide, Carrie. Use your phone and provider tools. On your phone and beyond reducing information that's available about you, there are tools on your phone through a wireless provider that can help reduce suspicious calls and text messages before you ever have to decide whether they're legitimate. On your phone, you can silence or filter calls that are flagged as suspected spam, screen messages from unknown senders, and block or report numbers that appear suspicious. You may also have additional call messages and protections available on the device, such as enhanced spam protection or detection, call screening, and other security features. I personally have a call block. If that number is coming in as private or it's not a familiar number for me, I automatically block the call because I don't know where it's coming from. And that definitely comes from the majority of the wireless providers offer that feature. They're very useful and they're helpful, but even those features from your wireless provider aren't foolproof. Sometimes these calls get through because fraudsters, these guys are very good at what they do, and they're constantly coming up with ways as their prevention methods are invented. They're constantly coming up with ways to get through those particular call protection measures. Next slide, Carrie. What to do if you've already responded? Start by contacting the affected organization through a trusted channel and let them know what happened. Depending on what was shared, they may be able to secure the account. Once a card has been, or you believe if though you've been impacted, have your debit card or credit card replaced. Go into those particular websites and reset your access or take other preventive steps. If a password or PIN may have been exposed, change it immediately, or anywhere else that you may have reused it. Then review recent account activity to verify all of the things that you can say that you legitimately conducted on that particular account, on that particular card. If more sensitive personal information was involved, such as your social security number, please make sure that you go ahead and verify that particular information and contact those particular Social Security office, or even potentially file a police report. Start by when you verify your credit report, look for accounts or inquiries and other activity that you don't recognize, and you can do that through annualcreditreport.com. I personally have all three credit bureaus frozen, and I also have my check systems access where most financial institutions, when they open up depository accounts, they will do a check. It's called check systems. You can actually freeze that as well. I am a victim of fraud from a check systems. Someone tried to open up depository accounts, and I was able to contact check systems. They blocked it and also contacted the institution to shut that account down. But please make sure you review that. You also review all three credit reports to protect yourself. Next slide, Carrie. Once you've addressed any immediate account or identity concerns, reporting that suspicious communication can also be helpful. You can forward text messages to the number 77226, which spells spam. That sends the report to your wireless provider. You can also report scams to the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov. If the communication involves a financial account, contact your financial institution through a trusted channel so that they can help review and secure the account if needed. And if money was lost, please consider contacting your local law enforcement as well. That is one where I would do that regardless. Contact your local law enforcement. That's just another, I believe, measure or step to take to ensure that you protect yourself. We do receive reports from check systems and members, especially as for new account openings, to indicate that they may not have, they believe that they were victims of identity theft. That's something that all financial institutions experience today. And the more steps that you take to report it, and also to prevent, future issues with your information being out there, can be extremely helpful. Next slide, Carrie. Think it's United States Senate Federal Credit Union calling you. We may call you from time to time, but we will never pressure you for sensitive information. If you receive one of those calls, please hang up immediately and contact us at a trusted number. You also have the opportunity, you can contact us through secure message through your online or mobile, or through our online and mobile banking platforms. Next slide, Carrie. Your best defense in closing, I want to leave you with a few simple habits that can help you make a real difference. First, don't rely on a familiar name or number alone. A call, a text, or email can look legitimate and still be fraudulent. Second, treat urgency as a reason to slow down. If someone is pressuring you to do something, pause, hang up, do whatever, but please verify the moment. Take a moment to verify what is happening, who's asking you to do something. Never share your one-time passcode with someone who contacted you unexpectedly. And whenever you are unsure, verify the situation through a channel you already trust. And if you do realize that you shared information or took an action, respond quickly and secure the affected account. The best defense is to stay in control of the interaction. Pause, verify, and protect. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm going to pause here and see if there are any questions for us.
That was great information. As you can see, there is a lot of, strategies that these scammers want to use, but we want to be ahead of the game and use all the tools that are at your, to your reach for you to make sure that you take advantage of your credit, like Mr. Troy was saying, your accounts, your finances. We want to make sure that you have that peace of mind that here at the United States and Federal Credit Union, as our member, you can be secure, you can sleep, peacefully at night, that you got people that care for you. Thank you so much. We told you at the beginning of season 4 that we were going to have a lot of surprises, a lot of great topics. And this was one of the surprises. Look at Mr. Troy, he's leading by example. He's a great leader. He's the one doing this, running the show today. So we want to thank you so much, Mr. Troy, for doing this. And best believe that you will be back. You are going to be definitely part of the panelist team. So I think that this was the job interview for him to be part of the panelists. And I think everybody gives it a thumbs up that he definitely passes, the trial. So thank you so
Thank you, Eddie.
much once again.
Thank
Of
you.
course, of course. Thank you for sharing your expertise as well. I want to pass it on to Ms. Londono with any questions that we may have or any comments. I do see some comments coming up, and I do see somebody with their hands up. If you want to come off mute, send us a message, and we can definitely have you come off mute. So, Ms. Londono?
Yes, thank you. It was a great presentation, Troy. And our first question is, what is check system?
So check systems, whenever you go to any financial institution, whether it's United States Senate Federal Credit Union, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, when you're opening up a new account, they actually run your information through check systems. Check systems checks for financial institutions to see if you've had charge-offs with other financial institutions, if you have had fraud or you committed fraud with other financial institutions. It's protecting to see that you're in good standing. And that's how financial institutions make a decision to open an account for you, to see if you're a good risk, if you will. It's kind of like a credit report for banks, but not for lending purposes, solely for depository accounts, checking and savings, CDs type accounts. And we could put a link in there, Eddie. Hopefully, we can put a link for check systems in the chat.
I was gonna say too, it's the one that you recognize the name everywhere. It's like
Mm-hmm,
CHEXSYS. Yeah, and
mm-hmm.
then it took a long time before I even realized what it was. I think we have a blog article on it,
Yeah,
to find it. Yeah, and share it.
Thank you so much, you guys. And our next question is, if the caller ID shows what if the caller ID shows my actual bank's number? Can it still be spoofed?
absolutely. That's one of the things that makes um, the spoof calls so difficult to validate, because the fraudsters out there, they have developed the technology to spoof any number, whether it be a financial institution or it could be a friend or family member. One of the other things to consider is that who on the phone has ever received the phone call, you answer, you may not recognize the number, but you go ahead and answer, and for the first maybe 3-4 seconds you're saying hello and no one's responding. That's actually, it potentially could actually be a fraudster recording your voice through AI and then being able to use that on other calls or future calls or with others, to impersonate your identity.
Thank you. And next question is, should I reply stop to a specific or suspicious text, or is it better not to respond at all?
What I would say is trust, don't feel any pressure to respond, but verify. If you're not comfortable with it, it's okay to hang up and actually call your financial institution, not on the number that the fraudster is giving you, but physically pick up the phone and call the financial institution, or go through your secure channel on your online banking or mobile app to validate and ask the question, um, why were you guys reaching out to me? Or look at your accounts yourself, go through everything to make sure that you don't see any activity that you did not commit, to verify that, it was a legitimate call, if that makes sense.
Our next question is, what should I do if I'm not sure whether the person contacting me is really USFCU?
Again, pick up the phone, call the number that you know that you've called before for USSFCU, and go through the process. We will be able to. We have process to validate you and to go through everything to protect you. You can, as I stated before, we can also go through your online banking channel, which is secure, or your mobile banking channel, which is secure, to validate that USFCU actually did call you or reached out to you.
Thank you so much. And we have one more question. It's will these slides be emailed?
Harry?
I can email the slides. Thank you for asking. Yes.
And those are all our questions, I believe.
One thing I wanted to add is that I added a link. Specifically, I know Kerry said that there was a blog, and you can find it on that website. We also have the specific link, with the actual blog where it explains what is check systems. And like Mr. Troy was saying, it's just something to make sure that there's not any, alerts under your name, that you can do business with us, and just to make sure that you're being protected. So it's something standard across the financial field. It's not only USSFCU, it's different financial institutions. We want to make sure that, we do business with somebody. We want to make sure they're in good standings. And perhaps there's something there that you might not be aware of. So before you get into any more, loans or applications or whatever it is that you're trying to do, we want to make sure that your name is clear, and then we can move forward. So that's a way to show you that we care about your security and to make sure to stay alert, because there's many, now with AI, just how we use it for, as being beneficial for our jobs and to give you a better service as a member. Scammers, unfortunately, they're using it for the wrong things. And imagine, panelists team, what if these scammers use those, that intellectual, energy, this intelligence that they have for the good? Oh, it would be an amazing place, but unfortunately, they use it for the wrong things. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much, and we know that Milton has always shared that he has been unfortunately a victim of fraud, somebody trying
Mhm.
to take his identity. And please do the due diligence. If you see a text
Yeah.
that you're not expecting, or a call, and you're in doubt, don't call that number that you see in front of you. Don't click that link that you see in front
Yeah.
of you. Go to the specific website of that institution,
Yeah.
as Mr. Choi was advising as well. Good to your online banking, that way you can talk to somebody, chat with them, call them if you need to, and tell them like, hey, I received this email or this call or text message. I wasn't expecting that. Is this legitimate? And we'll be able to answer you. And as you can see, we have our number, 800-374-2758. We do send communications to you all when it comes to like new promotions, things that are happening in our organization. But if it's something that you might be like, let me take a step back, and it doesn't feel right, follow your gut feeling and just call the 800 number, and our amazing expert representatives will be able to tell you if it's something legitimate or not. And then one thing to emphasize, team, is that the United States Senate Federal Credit Union will never contact you directly asking you for a social security number, a date of birth, or
Absolutely.
anything that's very specific like that. We will never contact you out of nowhere. Like, you know what? Today I'm bored. Let me call Mr. Troy asking for his social security number. That will never happen.
Yeah.
And I just see another question. If you want to read, Ms. Londono.
Yes, so our last question that just came in is, I received multiple notifications of a data breach. Is there anything in particular I should know or do?
So great question. When there are data breaches, especially we're all connected, I guess at this point, just being completely transparent. Some of these companies, whether they're healthcare or maybe you had your mortgage company or something, people go in, or medical records, what have you. It's always so important to sign up for credit reporting services. It's not just the annualreport.com, but I know Equifax, Experian, Tranching, and they all offer monthly uh, monitoring of your credit. If you haven't signed up for one of those, I highly encourage you to do so. Especially, it not only protects you from when someone's trying to maybe inquire about your credit or things of that nature. It also protects you from a standpoint of you're able to see certain balances go up maybe on a credit card. and you normally pay your credit card off every month, but all of a sudden now there's a $5,000 charge. Sometimes those things are happening to people who are not paying attention to their finances, and it could be 6 months, 7 months down the road before, for whatever reason, you happen to look at it and say, "Hey, I don't remember this charge from China or from Europe or something like that." That's why it's so important to sign up for those services to protect yourselves. One of the things I would also recommend is we all get mail. Check your mail. Uh, it's important that maybe you get your monthly statements for certain things, that you receive those electronically versus having them come to your mailbox. There's folks out there that raid mailboxes and can capture information. They might see a credit card statement that may have your information. That's a way in for them to learn more about you. Those are just little tips to help you and protect your information. But one of the big ones that I see right now is social media, the way we may post and share our lives and things about us. Make sure that you are not sharing whether you're where you work or if you're retired or all of those things, or you're out of town, you're going on a trip, and we all want to, on my way to Italy or on my way to somewhere else. You're sharing information, personal information. Now, if someone's monitoring you or targeting you, they now know a lot about your lifestyle or when to go near your home or raid your mailbox or all sorts of things that can hinder. So even though we want to share our lives and it was great for us, we just have to be mindful how much you share and how you phrase it is critically important.
Something I took from what you said, Mr. Troy, is the phrase that you just said, no paying attention, like
Yep.
it's like the small details that can get to
Mm-hmm.
you. And unfortunately, those small details and, to hurt your
Yes.
credit and,
Mm-hmm.
be part of, fraud, be a victim of fraud. It might take months, even years to get back on your feet. So,
Absolutely.
5 minutes of you doing your research, scanning through that email, that message can save you so much, headaches and so much time. For that way you can be protected. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. If, let's say, I'm waiting an email from Andrea, and then you see
Mm-hmm.
her last name, it has a lot of O's, but then one of the O's specifically, instead of being an O,
Yes.
a processor can make it a zero. It's such a minimal thing that you say, "Oh, Andrea London, okay, perfect, I'm good." It's her. Next, she's
Yep.
like, "Eddie, did you know what is it? Andrea, I respond to your email." You're like, "Wait,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't send you an email, Eddie." And then when you go back and you see the details,
Mm-hmm.
now send information that's very valuable, information that's personal. So it's
Yep.
just those small little details that you need to pay attention to. So, that's a great thing
Yep.
to say, that we need to pay attention. We need to be alert. Another thing I wanted to
Yep.
share, team, as well, is that actually this afternoon, what is it called? Not too long ago, maybe even before getting on the call, I was talking to my dad. He was telling me to read a letter for him because he was a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the letter. It came from a quote unquote Hyundai dealer. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
have an address. It didn't have, who he came from. It just said, Hyundai dealer. And it said his name, like Dear, and then my dad's first
Mm-hmm.
name. And then he had a sticky note, handwriting, saying, "Oh, you have a debt of $15,000 on the vehicle that you own with us. Please call this number and we will help you pay that, that debt."
Mm-hmm.
First of all, my dad has never went to a Hyundai dealer. Second of all,
Mm-hmm.
you gonna send a letter without envelope, without address or anything like that. So I'm telling you, they're just like they're getting very,
Yep.
very tricky. So
Yep.
it's just a matter of paying attention. And as soon as I got that part, I read the letter, I was like, shredded. Don't even pay any attention to it. And that's what we want to, emphasize with this type of webinars is just be alert, pay attention to the details. And as we have said in previous webinars, do your due diligence as because 5 minutes of you scanning and calling us directly just to make sure that you got something from us or any other institution can save you so much time. So thank you so much
And
for those tips, Mr. Troy. I appreciate it a lot. And then Carrie,
actually,
do you want?
Eddie, I wanted to share one more thing.
Please do, please do.
So it's funny. It's funny you should mention that because I'm a young man, and mentally I am, but my birth date may say something different. I got an email today, and it was titled from SSA.gov, and how I need to go in and check my Social Security statement to see how much I paid in and also to determine how much I'm going to get when I reach a certain age. And I was like, why would they send me this? And sure enough, when you click on the email, and yeah, it's addressed to my email, but the person that sent it, it did not come from ssa.gov. It came from Bill Puckett something something from another country, and it looks so legitimate. But if I didn't take that extra step, I would have clicked on the link. They would have gotten all of my information. So again, there's probably hundreds of examples like that out there, but the scammers, man, they're out for blood,
For
and
all
they
I
want to
know,
take it all. So
For all I know, if you would have clicked on that link, it probably would have been AI doing the presentation right now.
that's
But we
correct.
know it's you, we know it's you. So we know it's Troy, Troy in the flesh. So as
Yes.
you were saying, we can go on with these examples. I'm sure that
Yep.
everybody who
Yep.
attend this, even on the panelists, they have seen examples like that, whether somebody has told them about it or see that
Mm-hmm.
example, that Troy just gave us. So just pay attention to the details. If you're not
Yep.
expecting an email for anybody, please do not answer. And sometimes also some things sound too good to be truth. Like for example,
Yep.
those HR emails that you get, you can make $5,000 in 3 days.
Yes.
Pretend as your
Mm-hmm.
resume. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not realistic at all.
Yep.
So it's just one of those things that if it's too good to be true, most likely it's not true. So thank you so much, Mr. Troy. We appreciate you, and I know Carrie's very excited to tell us what's happening next Wednesday. I think she's bringing some of
Oh,
her
Eddie,
her
I think you
buddies, her
got
department.
Eddie, I think there's a couple of questions in the chat
Let
before
me
we go to
see.
Karen.
I do see
Let's
somebody
take
saying,
let's
go
take
ahead.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Wong off of mute. He'd like to talk, and we so appreciate his expertise. He's really a part of the panelist team.
Especially when it comes to security. Let me, oh,
Yes.
did somebody
Yeah,
unmute him? Or I might have to stop sharing and give.
I think I
I
can.
got it. I got
Okay.
it.
Oh, perfect.
You got it? Okay.
All right,
Introduce
Mrs.
him to
Stan.
Troy. He never met Troy in person.
Yeah, this is great. So
This is
glad you're here.
this is your
Hi.
language we're speaking, Mr. Stan. So we're excited to hear what pointers you give us this evening.
Everything that Troy said was very, very good information. I think it was very helpful. There were a couple of things that I kind of noted that might be worth noting as well too. As he mentioned about signing up for credit monitoring, um, some people don't realize, but your employer can offer you credit monitoring as part of your benefits. So you should check with your employer. You can get a discount on it because we have a family plan that's cheaper
Mm-hmm.
than what we go through if we want to find
Mm-hmm.
something on the internet. So I'd advise people to next time when they sign up for benefits, look at it. It's like $12 a month and you can put the whole family on it. So
Yeah.
you just sign up an account for everybody. So I think that's a good thing to do.
Awesome.
The other thing too, again, like alerts are probably something that most of us try to do, and we don't always get a chance to do, but do definitely with all your banking stuff, set up all types of alerts, whether they be something as simple as anytime a deposit is made, just put it in
Yep.
for $1 so you know
Yep.
something's coming in, or $1 withdrawal. I give you a
Yep.
perfect example. Yesterday, I don't like to do this, but I set up an alert for $100 on one of my cards, and it's a card that I don't use very often. And it ended up being my wife used it, and I said, "Oh, well, good thing I had that on her because that just tells me a card that we haven't used in a long, long time actually got used." So I'm just, anything you
Yep.
can keep you on top of those things will really make a difference. And any of the banks that you bank with, if they have security questions, again, like I said, some will let you create your own security questions. So if they give you that option, add that in as another layer of protection. So when you're calling your bank, if they don't ask you that question, those security questions, there's something wrong. You should question them and say, why didn't you ask me my personal security question? Because I do that with Ally and some of my other banks. And so it's just something good for everybody to be very proactive, especially nowadays with AI and things like that. You just got to be on top of your toes for all the things that are happening out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So those are my only three comments, but great, great information so far.
I think we offer, I'm glad you brought up that, Mr. Stan, about their employer discount because I think at the credit union we offer that for the employees. I'm going to look at that because what I don't need is another monthly bill, but that would be nice.
That one would be totally worth it.
Thank you, Mr. Stan. We
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Mr. Stan.
Yeah, we
No problem.
truly appreciate your comments. The expertise that you bring and your wisdom as well, because you tell us, scenarios that you have lived before that you have recommended to your family and friends as well, and things that you're using. So that's very valuable because one can only share their own testimony, and you truly are doing that. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, one other
Troy,
thing too. I just want to add one thing too. This happens quite often. As everybody knows, there's always data breaches, and I think Troy did talk about it. If you're offered it, do sign up on it. Even if you already have credit monitoring, sign up for it anyways, because usually
Hmm.
whenever a breach happens, it's only 12 months. So for example, I did get one for the first time through check systems, which was very unusual. I don't usually get check system as being offered, but I took it. But because I have my other one with my employer, it's nothing wrong with having multiple um, credit monitoring services out there because they all will, if one doesn't catch it, another one may catch it a couple of days later. But the more alerts you get, the more you're prepared to go check your credit report to see if there's anything else that's going on. So I would say, even if you have it, sign up for the free ones because one will essentially expire. And if you have a free one that started 3 months later, you'll get another 3 months on top of it.
you heard from the best. Thank you so much, Mr.
Yep.
Tan, once again. We appreciate your comments and always
No
coming
problem.
on mute. And honestly, you're part of the panelist team at this point, so we appreciate your support. Each and every Wednesday we see your name. When we don't see your name, we like start wondering where's Mr. Stan, and when we see it, we get so happy. So we appreciate it. Andrea, I do see one more question. I don't want to take your thunder, so please, if you want to read that last question, and then somebody was sharing how they got the same email that perhaps Mr. Troy got as well, so they want a little bit more clarification.
So the question is, what was that an email from SSA with a no reply at ssa.gov in it? And I got something similar a few days ago and I didn't engage.
Yep,
And and
it
then
was. It was.
there's a comment that says, a lot of banks allow you to lock and unlock your credit cards just in case.
Yes.
And we do
Yep.
here.
Yep.
So just want
And
to
in
confirm.
most of them, you can do it right through the mobile app, if you will, or you don't necessarily need to lock your card or freeze it through, calling us up. You should be able to do it right through your mobile app or online banking platform.
Thank you so much, Mr. Troy. And as we were emphasizing, it seems like a couple of people got the same email that you got. So if you're on the call and maybe you haven't received that email, but potentially you might receive it in the next few days or even months from now, do not engage. Delete that email. And if you have any question about Social Security, contact them directly. That's the reason why you can go to Google, contact them directly through their official website. So
Yep.
thank you so much once again. We appreciate you, Mr. Troy, for your expertise. Mr. Stan, we appreciate you as well for your comments and suggestions and recommendations as well. Andrea, Kim, and Carrie, thank you so much. But before we go, I know Carrie is very excited. I see her eager, legs shaking, tweaking a little bit, her body. But she's very excited because she's gonna bring not only myself and Andrea, but I think we bring the rest of the team next Wednesday for the weekly Wednesday webinar. What surprises do we have next week for our attendees, Carrie?
So next week we're going to have the the member engagement team and the marketing team. So my department, Andrea's department, Eddie's department, all come together. So my boss will be there. He's the best. Can't wait for you all to meet him. And he's going to talk about the member experience, the surveys that we send out to gauge
Very cool.
how our members feel about us and hear
Mhm.
and how, we hear you when you talk new products, we want this, or we don't like this, all that stuff. And we're going to tell you a little bit about our social media accounts. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. And I hope that you guys all come.
Oh, Carrie, can I say something? Can I let a cat out the bag? And I hope I get in trouble for it. But for those that it may not be public knowledge yet, USSFCU is expanding, and spring of 2027, we will be opening a new branch in Camp Springs, Maryland. So just wanted to share that little nugget.
That wasn't what I thought you were gonna say. So I'm glad that was even better. So another surprise next week, though.
As you can see, we have heard you. I know back in 2014 when I started at the Eisenhower branch, a lot of our members would come in person, and Mr. Troy, they will tell me, "Oh, I live in this area, PG County,
Hmm.
Sand Springs
Hmm.
area," and
Hmm.
long overdue. We're listening, and we're gonna expand. So we're very excited about this, expansion, and then the things that are gonna come, a lot of surprises, a grand opening. So just stay tuned. Spring of 2027, we got amazing things happening, and some things that are cooking right now, and then eventually it will become a reality. So thank you for that preview. And then Miss Kim Freely, please bring us back home. And thank you once again to everybody that joined us this evening.
Absolutely. Again, Troy, excellent presentation. Thank you, panelist team. Thank you so much to all of you who joined us this evening. We hope that you're leaving with a better understanding of how to recognize spoofed calls and fake fraud alerts before they actually put your personal or your financial information at risk. I think the key here, and Troy said this many times, remember when something seems suspicious, stop, verify, contact your financial institution directly through a trusted number that you know. It's okay to hang up on that person. If you trust your gut, stay alert, stay informed, and stay safe. We truly care about your financial wellness. That's why we're here.
You
See
heard
you.
it. Thank
Awesome.
you so
Yeah.
much. We will see you next Wednesday in the same channel at the same time. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. Have a great evening and be alert, be secure, and make sure that you do your due diligence. Good night, everyone.